Welcome to Western New York Tonight. I'm your host, Tammy Lee, and also welcome those listening on WLNF. Tonight we have George Fritz. I'm sure he looks very familiar to everybody here in the area. He's owner of Mills Jewelers. He is here tonight to talk about not so much jewelry, but art.
We're not going to talk about jewelry at all.
But we could during break, because that'd be fun.
Something equally as exciting.
Excellent. So you tell us what you're here for.
Well, we have a great project that we've been working on now for about 7 months. And we're working on installing a mural on Main Street. On the side of the building that faces the parking lot, can be seen from a block and a half away as you're driving west on Main Street, right in the center of the city.
Perfect view.
Right, and it can be seen for, like a mile from down the canal when you're on the boat. Mm-hmm. And this whole thing came about because of a visit from someone who lives in California. Sometimes it takes, outsiders to point out opportunities, that we have. Guy Hornberg, who now lives in California, he's a Lockportian, came home for a class reunion this past summer. And he did a tour up through the New England states and upstate New York. And he saw murals in all these communities on the sides of buildings. And he took a picture of one in Warrensburg, New York, which is fantastic. And came to Lockport, came into my store. I had never met him before, and he showed me this picture, and he said, "You have to do this here." And it wasn't the first time that I heard that. That wall kind of needs something. It's 60 feet long, 42 feet high.
Wow, perfect canvas.
Yeah, and it's very visible. Mm-hmm. So I called up some people in Warrensburg and, asked how they did it. And, what they had to say was at first, there was questions and, naysayers, and but they got an artist involved. They raised some money, and they painted this mural. And this was in 1976, and it became such a popular centerpiece in their town that when it needed restoring, like 10 years ago, they had another fundraising drive, and they raised twice the amount of money that they were asking for, because it's such a passionate piece. A centerpiece in their town.
Well, that's a nice problem
So,
to have.
I really think that Lockport could use a lift.
Yeah.
We need a morale boost. If you talk to some people in the city, you would think that, we're on the edge of a cliff and, we're on the downslide. But, at the same time, we have so many fantastic, exciting things happening, like the restoration of the Flight of Five.
Oh, yeah.
That was such a awe-inspiring moment, to see that actually working this past summer. And so many really good things are happening. There's a group that's trying to restore the old electric raceway building. Private people, the people who got together to save the Palace Theater. It was a grassroots, just everyday individuals, who decided to raise the money to save that theater. And look what a treasure it is for us now.
It's exciting. I think exciting changes. I say we're on the precipice of good things.
Yeah.
And I haven't known you for very long, but from the moment I met you, I knew you had some persuasive opportunities there, that you could really bring people into a good cause, which makes me remind everybody that they can call and ask you questions.
Yes,
so
please do.
434-1733, if you have any questions, I'm sure that George will be happy to answer them, but he won't reveal the final theme, though, right? Because it's sort of a secret.
Oh, no, that's not a secret. I can tell you what it's going to be.
All right.
But we have a couple renderings that we can't show until the planning board approves it, which will be April 6th.
Okay, not a public meeting.
Not a public meeting.
Okay, but soon thereafter, maybe there might be some decision.
But the center of the mural is obviously, it has to focus on the Flight of Five locks. That's what Lockport is all about. That's why we exist. And but it also is going to incorporate figures from the past, nameless figures. There's people who, worked on the canal, because we have all these photographs of canal workers.
Yeah.
Hundreds of, how many years old? 150
Lots.
years
Don't
old.
challenge my history. Lots of years.
And we never knew their names.
I
And
know.
these are the people who built the canal.
They're iconic, though, in the pictures
They
and their
are.
memories.
We've seen those same pictures over and over. So we're honoring, the nameless, faceless, people that worked on the canal.
I love it.
And then, we're also going to be showing how the canal is used today, and just a little how important it still is to Lockport. So we'll be showing some modern day people, enjoying the canal, and we'll tell the story of Lockport. So as people drive down Main Street that maybe aren't from here, they're going to see this mural and they're going to say, there's something going on here. Look at that, Maybe they'll pull their car over and park and get out and walk around a little bit. Spend some money in the city of Lockport. That's why we have tourism, right?
Right.
Increase our tax base. Plus, it's something for us. It's something, to touch that space that we all have inside of us, for the pride of Lockport.
Yes.
'Cause
And it seems like everybody who lives here really does have so much pride, and they should.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. We tend to be our own worst enemy, though, because we do a lot of complaining.
Yeah.
And I know, because I've lived here.
But I think that migrates throughout the suburbs and the city of Buffalo, too.
Right,
I think
yeah.
it's sort of,
Yeah.
not just Lockport.
But we've seen that we can rise above it.
Good things are happening.
And we can make good things happen. And, you can tell I'm excited about
I
this.
can.
Yeah.
I feel the energy.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, it might be a latte that I had also.
Could be. You didn't bring me any. I could have used a latte.
No, but, it seems to me that the really great things that happen in this city happen with the efforts of private individuals. People who love their city, love their town, love Lockport, and want to make it better. And that's what this is about. And this is for all of us, to say we're proud of Lockport. And, we want to celebrate it and we want to enjoy it. And we want to drive down Main Street and see this mural that we created. We were a part of it. We made it happen. And, it's something that we'll be able to enjoy year round.
And really part of history in their own, because the mural will become, it'll come to fruition in our lifetime.
It will,
and
because,
it'll last for a long time.
because of everyday people.
Yes.
And in order to make it happen, we need donations.
So that's another point. So how are you collecting just private donations? Are you having a fundraising activity? What should we be looking
We
for to
have
help?
fundraising activities coming up, but right now, we're just asking for money.
Yeah, that's what you
And
need.
there's several ways you can do that. You can mail a check, and the checks need to be made out to the Niagara County Historical Society, and then you can write Mural on Main in the comment area.
So they
there.
know.
Yeah, and it's tax deductible. That's why we're going through the Niagara County Historical Society.
I see.
And it's real easy address to remember. Post Office Box 123, Lockport, New York 14095. Yes.
Can I give you a tip that I think
Yeah.
would be helpful? And you could totally just
Sure.
pretend you didn't
Please
hear.
do.
But people who donate could have their name on it somewhere, like a little brick or something.
We are
Just
going
a
to,
thought.
yes, we're going to have a plaque acknowledging, larger donors. And of course, everyone's name will be listed. We're working on having certificates of ownership, so no matter, what amount you decide to donate, you really own a piece of that mural. You made it happen. You can drive by and feel proud that you had a little piece of doing that.
You have a certificate that says you had part ownership.
Right.
of it.
There are stock certificates,
love
actually,
that.
that,
Yeah.
that we're going to be giving out. And if you figure, the city of Lockport and the town of Lockport population is about 42,000. We need to raise about 45,000
For the whole mural,
for the whole
beginning
mural.
to end.
For
Okay.
beginning to end. And that includes a lot of things. There's insurance, there's legal stuff.
There's the artist who's
There-
going to do that.
There's the artist. We have to pay them, of course. They're being paid. We'll talk about the artists, too. They're
Well,
fantastic.
it may be somebody on the phone who wants to talk about art.
Okay.
Somebody called. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. I don't know. You never know what you're going to get with a call in, but here we go. Are you ready? Hi, caller. You're on live. Can you hear us?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Hello.
You're on with George
Hi.
Fritz.
I'd like to turn this into a mini telethon, and I'll pledge to turn in $50.
Well, thank you.
Oh.
Well, how nice of you.
There you go. I think this is a fantastic idea, of course. and totally supportive of it, and I'll send my check out right now.
Perfect.
Perfect. It's going to be like a telethon.
Yeah, what the heck? I
Thank
challenge everybody
you.
that's watching to cough up some money for this great thing.
Mural
I
on
love
Main,
it. I love it.
Post Office Box 123, Lockport, New York, 14095.
Okay,
right.
my check is now in the mail.
Perfect.
Ellen,
Much
thank you so
appreciated.
much. Thanks for calling as well.
Thanks, bye.
Bye. So here we'll have we could keep upping
Wow.
the ante, right?
Yeah,
I love it.
excellent.
During break, we're going to see a video, but I don't even know what the video is of. Can you set that up for us before?
Well,
we
there
get to that
are
point?
we've had a few videos on our Facebook page, which, by the way, is facebook.com/Mural on Main. So that's a really good place to go to find out what's going on and to make comments and see these videos. Muralonmain.org. If you go there, you can sign up for our email newsletter, and there's links, for the videos. There's a YouTube page, but it's kind of hard to find. We're working on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take a breath. We have another call.
Okay.
Are you ready?
All right.
Oh my goodness. Here we go. It's just as good as Santa.
All right.
Hi, caller. You're on here with George. Are you there? Let's see if we lost our caller. We might have lost our caller.
Oh, that's okay.
That'll be okay. I might have lost the caller, so don't feel bad about that. Let them know to call back. So again, the video is going to show the kind of the basis of the idea, kind of the generation of what's going on.
We have a video that introduces the artists.
Okay.
Which is, I wanted to talk about our artists, very excited about them. We have Jeff Watkins, who is local, has done quite a bit of work here in Lockport. Most people
Recognize the name.
in the art community will know Jeff Watkins. He has some experience in painting murals, and he does great work in painting the locks, painting the canal. And then we have Augustina Droz, who lives in Buffalo, and she is world renowned for her mural work. She came to Buffalo about 3 years ago from a National Endowment of the Arts grant to paint a mural there. And she met her husband and bought a home and lives there now. So she has traveled all over the world painting murals, and she's an amazing artist, and she brings so much experience and advice.
Yeah, it's a big job.
Yeah, and we're quite excited about having her. So it's a collaboration between both artists, and pretty much Jeff is doing the centerpiece, which is the canal, the locks, and that's going to be the prominent focal point. And then the frame is the figures from the past and the present.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so hopefully they'll get along. Just
They
kidding.
do get along.
I'm
Yeah.
just teasing. We'll make it a little more zesty. We have a call.
Okay.
I think they were able to call back in. Hopefully I won't mess up this time. Hi, caller. Are you there?
Yeah.
I didn't lose you. Perfect.
Hi. Yes, I am. Okay.
I'm going to turn you up here.
I have just a couple questions. First of all, I missed, George, what the actual cost of the mural is going to be.
Okay.
And I represent a not-for-profit, and I'd really love to have them make a donation. But I was just wondering, are there going to be different categories?
Yes, we're going to
I
have.
don't know exactly if you have something set up as to what you're looking for from donors.
Yes. Unfortunately, I don't have my list of different levels with me, but well, I'll tell you what the budget, the total budget is $45,000,
okay,
and that incorporates a lot of things. One of the biggest expenses is going to be the scaffolding, to put that scaffolding up, because the way when they built the parking lot there's a trench, so we have to
Work around it.
Work around it, and it's quite a large wall also. And then there's workman's compensation, insurance, and security, and but and then we have to pay for paint. We're putting on 5 coats of anti-vandalism.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that
That's a good idea.
But Augustina, Droz, one of the artists, she has experience in doing murals in the inner city and all over the country, and she's never had anyone graffiti her walls. I think it's kind of like the what the Garden Walk in Buffalo did for neighborhoods in Buffalo. People took pride in their
Well, you have groups calling because they want to be part of it.
Yeah.
Kathy, did that answer your question?
Well, it does. I was just wondering if he does have different categories. Should I stop in to his to Mills to?
Please do. I'd be happy to share that with you.
That would be great. And then the other question I have, just quickly, George,
Yes.
is like approximately how long do they project that the mural would last? Is there a?
Well,
I have no idea.
Kathy, I'm going to let him answer that off camera, okay?
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Goodbye now.
Thank you for calling, just so that we can get to break.
yeah, we're hoping that it will last 15, 20 years, without any touch-up. We went through several different possible methods of putting it on the wall. There are materials that are made for murals that go on like wallpaper, so you could paint it off-site and put it up. We could have painted it on aluminum panels and installed it piece by piece. But there were problems with each one of those methods. And the simplest and the least expensive is actually painting it right on the wall. And it's also easier to touch up.
Sounds more authentic, too.
Yeah, well, wouldn't you like to be
Yeah.
driving by this summer and watching it in progress?
I would. You need to tape it. You need to video.
We're
Have
going-
LCTV videotape it. See,
Absolutely.
we've got them. We're
Absolutely.
going to take a, speaking of video, we're going to go to video during break. We'll let Rich set that up. And as you mentioned before, this is kind of just a little bit of a backdrop, a little background on it. So when Rich rolls it, we'll watch it.
Okay.
Art itself is the bloodline to an up-and-coming city, and I think that Lockport as a new city is really taking on a life of its own, and the heart of the city is going to be in local businesses and arts, and there's so many artists. It's such a beautiful community that having a mural on Main Street, mainly predominant within the bloodline of the city, it's going to be a fantastic addition to our city and the direction that our city is going to be moving in. I think working with local artists is such an important part of the project, but really it goes so far beyond the people who are on the scaffolding painting the mural. All of us can be part of this and have ownership over it by donating to the project, building it from the bottom up, being a grassroots project with all of us building this mural and painting it on the wall. Even if it's not our hands, it's going to be our money and our contributions that get the mural on the wall itself.
So donate some money.
So donate some money. Please.
What do you want people to see when they see this mural?
Well, you want them to, I think you want them to have a new appreciation for things that are right next to them that they see every day. We see things all the time, and I think what you want is to just stop for a minute and think about where you're at, what you like, and enjoy it a little more. I think that's art. That's one of art's gifts to people.
What is it about this particular wall that intrigues you? Why do you want to do it?
This wall is very central to downtown Lockport and visible from the canal, so it's a great wall that you can see from really far away.
Yeah.
I think it's a great spot.
Tell a little bit about your collaborative effort here.
Well, this is the first time to get together for her and I as artists. I'm sure she's worked with other artists, and I have too. She's a great artist, and it's nice to have collaboration with other artists. It always is.
And bring different viewpoints into a piece.
Mm-hmm.
So we have different styles, so it's fun to work together and bring those styles together.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Interesting is a good word.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's what we want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something you haven't seen before.
Right.
Yeah.
The mural, I feel, is going to be a symbol of our community pride in a very artistic sense. It's going to re-energize people to think about Lockport's history, the impact that the Flight of Five had, and the building of the canal. Many people came here because they felt that this was a place of opportunity because of the Flight of Five and the canal, and they opened up their own businesses, they opened up and started mills. We had people coming here who had wonderful new ideas, who invented new things that we even use today. There's just so much to celebrate with regard to Lockport, and the mural should have everyone thinking about why we should be celebrating the importance of the locks and the canal. So we hope that you will support our project and donate a little something to help us, because there will be some expenses. So if you can do that, that would be wonderful to support our mural on Main.
I love public art. I think it's important. I think it says something about our town, and I think that it's going to be enjoyed by visitors and residents alike. I think this one in particular is going to be great because it's going to reflect our past, our present, and our future. So that's very exciting. I would ask everyone in Lockport to donate to Mural on Main. I think we're all going to enjoy it. I think it's important to support the arts, and I know that I am giving to the Mural on Main.
When I reflect on the significance of the Mural on Main Street project, I think of two key elements. One of those is pride. Lockport, as a community born of the Erie Canal, our residents, the businesses that are here, take tremendous pride in our community. And the other element is the idea of proclaiming. If there's anything that the mural on Main Street will do, it's going to proclaim to people traveling through downtown Lockport, when they see the mural, they are going to realize the significance of this as an Erie Canal community. It's going to tell a tremendous story about the heritage of this community. And it's also why it's so important for each and every resident, each and every business, to help claim the great heritage that we have in this community and to participate and support the Mural on Main Street program.
I'm excited about the mural on Main Street. I think it'll be a great attraction for visitors and residents as they're driving down Main Street to see a beautiful piece of artwork on a historic building in our great city, and it'll be wonderful to celebrate the canal on Main Street. I encourage any resident or visitor who's interested in supporting the mural on Main Street. I think it's going to be a great contribution to our city, and I hope you can make a donation to further the cause.
Welcome back after that great video break. George, it was awesome. George Fritz here, owner of Mills Jewelers. Today he's wearing the hat of, I would say, entrepreneur and developing and blazing this trail of a mural.
I'm a Lockportian.
Right? I love it.
Like you know, the rest of us.
Yeah, it really, truly amazing. And so I wanted to just make an announcement that our phone line for tonight is 434-2812, 2812, just so that you can get through. We're having trouble at the 1733. So perfect. George is answering questions about this. If anybody has any interest in finding out more, if we're not answering, or if I'm not asking the right questions, that's okay. Call in and ask your question.
There were probably so many calls, you know, wanting to donate, you know, that it just
I know the first call we had was like
your first one.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, as you mentioned before, and $46,000 is not a small cost, but
40,
it's
45.
doable. 45.
45.
Okay. It's doable though.
See, we
if
just
everybody
saved
gave
$1,000.
us a smidge of $1, it would be really helpful.
$1.07.
Right.
Yeah. If there's 42,000 people in Lockport, town and city, because the town belongs to Lockport too.
Mm-hmm. And people outside of Lockport can donate.
Absolutely.
It's really, you know, it's
Newfane, Gasport,
Yeah.
Alcott, you know, Barker, we're all part of the same community after all. You know, so, you know, if you split it up just among Lockportians, it's only $1.07. And
true
$1.07.
businessman. Totally persuasive argument. I love that. You know, one thing that you mentioned that we want to make sure we capture is that you had mentioned that not only will this mural be beautiful, but it'll also bring attention to the locks that sometimes people can't find because they're sort of hidden.
Well, you know, when the canal was built, it was built for commerce. It wasn't built for tourism. So I've been in lots of organizations, the Eastern Niagara Chamber of Commerce when that existed, and the Downtown Lockport Business Association, et cetera. And there's always been an issue with signage, you know, trying to direct people to the canal so they can find it. And it's amazing the number of people who come into Mills Jewelers who are from out of town, wanting to know where the canal is. It's right around the corner. It's hidden because it runs behind Main Street. Well, this is a 42 feet high, 60 feet wide sign, not a sign, a work of public art that kind of lets you know that there's something important here. And it's just half a block away.
Yes, I love that. And so people can find out more about this. As we mentioned before, is there a website people can look at, like progress? I know we're going to talk timeline in a second.
Yeah, muralonmain.org. You can go there. You can go to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com Mural on Main. And there's a YouTube page. You can sign up. If you go to our website, sign up for our newsletter, because anything important that happens, a major step, you'll receive an email update.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
That.
So you can really get live time
Right.
updates. Now the next timeline for you is going to be that not public meeting, but that planning meeting rather.
The planning board.
About the decision that's made. Is that where the decision for the final?
Well, that's one
will
of
be?
the places.
Okay.
I think it's important to have the planning board on board, of course.
Of course. No pun intended.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We want to make sure it fits in with Lockport, and it's something that will make Lockport proud, and we want everyone to be on board and feel ownership in this.
Be
work
part
of
of
art.
it.
Yeah.
And so when do you expect the first paintbrush to hit that wall?
Well, at this point, if we raise all the money tonight, it can happen.
Could happen tonight.
Right.
You're so funny. Okay.
But-
say we raise it tonight. Okay.
Say we raise it tonight, then we can go very quickly. We figure after we get the scaffolding up, it will take about a month to paint. And of course, this summer is the sesquicentennial, 150th anniversary of the birthday of Lockport.
Perfect timing.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
So it's another good way to celebrate, our heritage.
For sure.
So we're thinking August, September that the actual painting, might begin, unless, we move really quickly.
Like raising all the money
Right,
right now. I
right,
love it.
yeah.
Your timeline, though, started last August. So, I mean, this has been a work of
We've been working on this very hard
passion for a long time.
quite a while, spent a lot of time on it.
help people understand what you've been working on. Like, why is that it's a lot of stuff you've been working
There's
on.
just a lot of research, a lot of organization, that has to be done, a lot of planning. So we've had, monthly meetings, and now we're, every 2 weeks, and a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails in between. Poor Melissa Dunlap from the Historical Society, I think I must have sent her at least a dozen emails today,
Oh,
back
how
and forth.
funny. Yeah, she's answering them as she's listening to us
Yeah,
today.
we're back and forth, and texting.
Yeah.
Just first of all, narrowing down, the artist.
Tell us again how you did that, because people who are just tuning in now might be thinking, how did they get these artists? Are they local? Where do they come from?
Yeah, you know what? We had a really great meeting early on with a nice group of local artists. Joe Whalen was there. He is a Lockport treasure. He gave some great advice. Jack DiMaggio was there. We had a room full of local artists. And, older generations, younger generations, and some high school art teachers. Just all kinds of great off-the-wall ideas, so to speak.
You are, no pun intended there again. Gotcha.
And, what it came down to is we knew we wanted to use local artists. But we also wanted somebody with mural experience, that had done large works of art like this before. There were some of the artists there that were just there, to give advice, didn't really want to be, 40 feet high in a scaffolding. And we got some great advice, and that's how we settled on Jeff Watkins, because of his great work that he's done in the past, painting the canal and the locks. And, Augustina Droz, who is from Buffalo, and Buffalo is local. It may not be, any other city in the country that would be considered local when it's 25 minutes away. but she brings to the table, some great experience, and she is amazing at painting characters. So we had a photo shoot that was a lot of fun, where we just got everyday average people from the community to model for the Lock Photography Club, dressing up in period costumes and posing with a kayak and a bike and walking a dog and digging with a pick and a shovel. And she is using those images to paint the people on the mural.
Okay, and so give me a sense of how big the images of people will be. Because you described this wall as huge. Like, how big do you have an idea of the scale?
Probably about 15 feet high is my guess.
Wow.
The figures will be.
Yeah.
So they'll be.
It's huge.
Yeah, they'll be noticeable.
Yeah.
They'll be pretty big, and our feeling is that people tell a story. You can look at the canal, you can look at the locks, and it's beautiful, but it's the people of yesterday who built that and made it what it is and set the foundation for Lockport, and it's the people of today, who are just part of this community and helping to build the future.
And they need to be reminded too of the past. I think so often if we're not if it's not fresh, we may forget the relevance of that, but wow, it was huge and it still continues to be.
Yeah. And the canal just brought so much industry, to the city, and so many things were invented in Lockport that we still use today.
How about the mural trail? I think that's an incredibly interesting, fun thing.
Yeah,
to pair it up with wine and it'll be
you
good.
know what? Lockport, we really have some catching up to do, because on the western end of the canal there is a mural trail, 13 miles of murals, and there is a map that you can follow along this trail and just look at the murals, and there are mural tourists out there, who are following murals and taking pictures, and just like the wine trail, So we're also hoping that once people see this mural and they drive by it every day and it becomes part of their everyday lives, and they learn to appreciate it, that there will be other murals, because there are lots of walls here in Lockport, and we could really expand on that. And if you're interested in looking up that mural trail on the western end of the canal, go to muralmania.org. And the organizer of that trail has been in contact with us, and he's been very helpful in helping us
connect your trails,
make decisions, and find the path. And they're really excited, the people out on the western end of the canal, about what we're doing here, what we hope to do here, and hoping to bring their convention, or whatever they call it, their big splash meeting here to Lockport next year.
To be able to kind of appreciate the mural and start up on the path and maybe christen it a bit, right?
Yeah. Oh, there'll be a big party, when this is all finished.
You've got to tell us how that all goes. Is there a ribbon cutting? Like, what's the formality of the mural opening?
We will have a ceremony on the parking lot there that is right next to the mural, and there will be a huge celebration with music. And
that's exciting.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so again, for people who are just tuning in, if you have any questions, 434-2812. We won't have very many more minutes left to talk, but George Fritz is the owner of Mills Jewelers, and he's really shepherding this project. I mean, I have to say, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of dedication and passion. I can clearly see you're excited about it.
Yeah.
But you have opportunities for people to be part of this by donating. Can they give you any kind of feedback or ideas? Are you receptive to kind of the community?
We're getting all kinds of ideas on our Facebook page.
Tweak it a little bit as you go, perhaps.
Yeah, and we want the community to be involved. Part of the idea is the artists would like to involve some high school art students also, and
that's a great idea.
Yeah,
it's a big project.
Right. We want the community to feel ownership.
Yeah.
And you know, like I said, I really think that we need a boost. You know, we need a morale boost. You know,
and a tourism opportunity. You know, I think that not only will it boost the community, but it'll bring people. It'll make them stop and pause, like you discussed earlier on. What if I need to? If I don't want you to spill out too many details, but so you've described the size. What would be the colors? Like, is it going to be? And this is going to be our last question because we have just a minute before we wrap.
Well, that's part of the what is in works right now.
Okay.
We're going to have a couple of renderings. How bright the colors should be.
Yeah.
You know, we want it to feel like it's part of Lockport.
Right.
Also.
But you want to have it be seen too.
Yeah, we want it to be seen, but we don't want it to be like
overwhelm.
Right,
All right. So George, as we move on, you know, we kind of have the timeline. People can donate, but if they want to call you or find out more information, can they stop in at the jewelry store?
Currently, you know, we should figure out or the Niagara County Historical Society.
Okay.
Get information there.
How about a number?
The store number is 433-6456.
Perfect.
But go to muralonmain.org also.
All right.
Send your donations to Mural on Main, P.O.B. 123, Lockport, New York, 14094.
Thanks, George, for coming in. We'll be back after a break, so don't go away.